Hey everybody, Fish and Chips here with a tutorial on how to start a pillage. So today we're going to go over the following. Types of ships ranging in size from small to extra large, the ship's hold and what you can do with it, and the navigation wheel and what you can do with that. So first things first, just to get an idea of ship size, you have all these different ships in the first and second row going up to Grand Frigate. Let's ignore the other ships, those are special ones. But from sloop to dhow are considered small ships. From Fanquan to Warbrig is considered medium ships. From merchant galleon to war frigate is considered large ships, and finally the grand frigate is considered an extra large ship. Now, the larger the ship, the more health it gets, and the more people you can job on it. Today, we're going to be focused on the smaller ship, the sloop, and what you need to do to actually run a pillage from a sloop. So, first things first, let's go to the dock. By the way, make sure that your badge is current. I just bought myself a officer badge today, or senior officer badge. It's the same thing pretty much. Let's find a ship we can use. So as you can see, when I went to the dock, there's a bunch of ships listed here that I may board. They're all my crew ships. Some of them are unlocked, so let's go to an unlocked ship. How about Spellbinding Catfish? Alright. Now, the first thing that you need to do when you board your ship and you're thinking about running a pillage is immediately go to the bottom right of your screen where it says Sail, Deport, Disembark, Arrange Furniture under the Vessel tab and click where it says Auto Target Ships. This should always be off. I'm going to say it again. This should always be off. Don't leave this on. It's bad. I'll talk more about that in a future video. But let's first look at the ship's hold. So when you click on it, a couple of options come up. We're not going to talk about foraging. We're just going to be talking about inspecting the hold and the vessel records. So let's inspect the hold. Now, as you can see, the hold is empty. There's a bunch of tabs at the top where you can buy and sell commodities, or you can do market bidding. If you go to the buy sell commodities tab where it says relevant commodities, you can buy swill, grog, fine rum, small cannonballs, and that's about it. Those are the things that you need to run a pillage. Honestly, swill and grog I would not purchase. I would just go straight to fine rum. Fine rum lasts twice as long as swill and 1.5 times as long as grog. So if you actually look at the prices for everything, actually I think it's even more than twice as long as swill. I would always purchase fine rum. Fine rum, you can organize this by sell price. If you are an officer, you need to buy your fine rum from pieces of 8 that you actually have in your inventory. All right, but if you are a fleet officer or a senior officer, you must first deposit your monies and then you must buy. This is not valid because I am poor, so I will withdraw my monies and take that away. But I suggest when starting a pillage that you purchase 30 fine rum and 150 small cannonballs. This is my suggestion. I'm going to put that on the officer bulletin just so you guys can see it. Alright, so 30 fine rum, 150 small cannonballs, suggested stocking, accept. As you can see, you can also see the deed holder of the ship. I'm going to get more back to the officer bulletin, but basically that's how you do it. You go buy sell commodities, you click on sell price to get the cheapest, and then you purchase your fine rum and your small cannonballs. We're not going to really look at market bidding. That's for another video. The second thing you can do is look at the vessel records. So as you can see, on June 2nd, 2019 at 1:50 p.m., Fish and Chip dropped in $36 whatever you want to call it, euros in cash. And then there's the message showing that I took away 36. So keep in mind, anything that you do will be shown in the vessel records. Let's look at the navigation wheel now. This is the second thing that you need to know about when running a pillage. So the navigation wheel has a couple of options. We're not going to learn how to do duty navigation right now. That's not really that important. We can hit navigate real quick, but let's back out of that. We don't really need to do that. To run a pillage, you need to learn how to chart a course, configure your voyage, manage the jobbers, maybe leave messages to other officers on the officer bulletin board like I did, and maybe hide your navigation moves. Really not too necessary. So let's look at charting a course first. So as you can see, course charting brings up your map, and it shows areas that you can chart to. On the left hand side, there is the chart table. Now I happen to own a bunch of charts. You don't need to put them on the chart table, but it's nice if you do, because that means that if somebody doesn't actually own this chart, then they would be able to use it to pillage and chart their map. Alright, so owning charts in your inventory will automatically allow you to set up for charting. You do so by just clicking on the leak point you want to go to. Make sure that it ends at an island. It can't just end in the middle. It won't let me. So if I chart from Amari to Quetzal to Scythe, it'll allow me to do that because I'm ending at an island. If I go Amari, Quetzal to Scythe to Puckru, it'll allow me to do that. But if I try and go back to Amari, like I wanna end at Amari though, it won't let me. So what you have to do is you have to chart up to Puckru. Once you get to Puckru, you can rechart from Puckru to Amari. Alright, so there's my charted course. It shows it in white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 league points to Quetzal, 2, 4, 6, 8 to Scythe, and then 2, 4, 6, 7 to Puckru. Alright, so simple enough. The next step is to configure your voyage. So let's look at that. Usually the default is pretty good. You can leave your type of voyage on pillage if you want to pillage. But if you're doing something else, for example, like trade, which you would only do if you're a merchant, or if you're doing swabby ship transport, which you would only do it if you're trying to move an empty ship from one island to another. Other options are flotilla attack and sea monsters. Only use these if you're using your own ship or if you have the officers who owns the ships permission to do them, because these are sinkable types of pillages. These, you will sink a ship if your ship takes too much damage, so use caution when doing these. And then finally there's evading. Evading is like you don't want to get in any battles. That's usually when you're trying to end your pillage. I would say the two most important for you to know for now is pillaging and evading. I suggest always leaving it on default, but if you want, you can move the difficulty bar a little bit more, like that. You can hit OK. This vessel is now pillaging average to hard brigands and barbarians. And let's see. The next step is to manage our jobbers. So when you click manage jobbers, you should take charge. Okay, this is the person's whose face appears on the notice board. Right, this is the person in charge. If you are an officer and a senior officer comes on your ship and you are in charge, the senior officer has no right to just take charge without your permission. If you're in charge, it's your pillage. Anybody who does anything different doesn't know the crew rules. Um, this again is meant for League of Shadows or crews within the flag. It's impolite to show up on somebody else's pillage and take charge, unless they tell you to. Um, so what you do is basically you can either call all hands. If you're doing this, try unchecking these boxes in port/sailing or in battle. It's impolite to call all hands from other people's ships, because what happens is you might be taking away their jobbers for your ship. So be careful when using call all hands. Um, by just having the ashore tab checked, that means that only people who are on an island will be called. The next thing that you can do, it says hire swabbies. You can click that. That'll automatically bring some bots aboard to fill the ship. So I have, if I look at pirates aboard on the right hand side, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bots, and I can order those bots to go to stations like this: sailing, sailing, carp, bilge, sailing. I always suggest having your sails fill up, and then just having one carp or bilger for a sloop. You want to get movement as fast as possible. Now, the next thing we can do is we can, instead of using bots, we can get actual people. So what I like to do is type a message or a statement. This is the statement I always use. Come get your fish and chips. Ha 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 ha. Because I'm fish and chips. 0 to 0 battles. Basically, what this statement means is I'm running a pillage. I have 0 wins, 0 losses. Update statement. Alright, what this means is when I click this button where it says hiring, this is what people are going to see on the notice board. I'm not going to hire yet because I'm not actually hiring for a pillage. I'm just doing a tutorial. I'll show you when I get off the ship what the notice board looks like. If you enter a player versus player battle, you can hide your navigation moves. As you can see, it says fish and chip has hidden the vessel movement plans from everyone except the crew's officers. This is important because people in the past have been known to cheat. So if you're in a player battle, a player versus player battle, then you should hide it. Or if you're in a blockade, for example, you should hide it. But that's beyond the scope of this video. Most of the time, it's okay to show your navigation moves. In fact, sometimes while people are puzzling, they like to look and see what you're doing. Alright, now finally, let's look at the notice board. Let's see what our jobbers actually see. If they go to the Voyages tab, this is what they see. Pillaging with a crew. Capitan Nisa is having a fun pillage and needs a gunner. That is her notice to the jobbers. Fun pilly, all welcome. Yo ho ho, let's make some po. You know? And then as you can see down here, there's some stuff with blockades. Like, let's go and let's get it. And hashtag PO win. Let's ignore I said that. I don't want pull out to win. But yeah, so a lot of times what you can do is you can hype your jobbers by saying something motivational, or you could write a message specifying what you want from your jobbers. Like, for example, for this Kraken hunt, Puck's P is looking for eggers, which is a specific type of trophy that you need to have in order to apply to him. And if you don't meet his requirements, he will ignore your job request. Alright, so let's go to the dock again. Let's go on a ship. How about this one? Doesn't matter. Expect to hold. It's an empty hold. This is a weird ship. But it's a sloop. Chart a course. Chart the course. Let's go to Quetzal. Configure voyage. I'm going to leave it on its default. Hit OK. Manage jobbers. Hiring. Come get your fish and chips. Update statement. And as you can see, somebody has already applied. It appeared on the right hand side. It's tinted glass. If I want, I can choose to decline or to hire. If you click their name, you get to see what their stats are. As you can see, she is really good at carp and patching. So if I needed someone to do those specific stations, I should hire her. If I really don't need a carp or patcher and I'm looking maybe for someone who's good at sales, I might want to wait out for someone a little bit better at sales than tinted glass. Although distinguished is actually decent enough for running most pillages. Um, that's pretty much about it for this video. Uh, in the next video, what I'm going to be talking about is after you've hired some jobbers and you've set sail, what information do you need to know in order to run a successful pillage? All right. This has been Fish and Chips, and have a good one. Sorry, Ashley, the video is ending.